Of modern toys compete for attention with high decibel sounds and neon LEDs. These devices are often played with for an hour, then discarded into the bottom of a toy box. Many products sold as educational rely on a design flaw. They require the child to sit still and watch. The toy does the performing, while the child remains a passive observer. Once the sequence of pre-programmed lights and sounds has been seen a dozen times, the child's curiosity is exhausted. No variables left to discover, so the play stops. Intellectual engagement requires a totally different environment, one that provides the structure for play without dictating every single action. The physical alternative to this passive cycle is a simple fabric enclosure. At 40 inches tall and 36 wide, this play tent matches a child's proportions. The fabric graphics serve as social cues. The striped awning and pastry rows signal a specialized environment, providing a backdrop to practice specific social scripts. By creating a space that matches the child's size, the tent creates a manageable world where they are the primary actor. When the tent becomes a bakery, the child moves from observing a story to directing one. This shift requires pretend play, a process where children assign roles and responsibilities to themselves and anyone invited into the space. To maintain the illusion of the shop, the child must use a specific vocabulary, practicing complex sentence structures and real-time verbal communication. Managing a transaction, like deciding the price of a cake or counting out pretend money, requires the child to solve logical problems within the context of the game. Every sale at the bakery window is actually a lesson in social cooperation and cognitive problem-solving. The dynamic of the tent changes when the child uses the space for solitary play. Most of a child's life is spent navigating a world of giant furniture and adult-imposed schedules. They have very little influence over their physical surroundings. Inside these fabric walls, the child is the sole organizer. They decide where the toys are placed and who is allowed to enter. This ownership leads to the development of micro-habits, like choosing to keep a small space tidy or arranging items in a specific order. Having control over this small territory is a fundamental step in building personal responsibility and self-confidence. When a parent enters the tent, the space transforms again, becoming a shared area for collaborative tasks. The visual boundaries of the tent act as a distraction-free zone, physically separating the child from the interruptions of the wider house. This secure enclosure makes it much easier to sustain attention, whether the goal is reading together or shared storytelling. Tasks that might feel like work at a kitchen table, such as counting or letter recognition, feel more like a private game when performed inside a tent. Because the environment is comfortable and focused, the child is more likely to absorb information through play. As screen time increasingly dominates early childhood, the nature of play has become more two-dimensional. This diagram compares the two experiences. While a screen offers a preset loop of visual feedback, three-dimensional play requires the brain to process physical boundaries, tactile depth, and spatial relationships. Navigating a physical structure requires a level of sensory-motor coordination and spatial awareness that a flat screen cannot provide. For parents, the choice is between a toy that performs for the child or an environment that allows the child to perform. Providing a space for physical autonomy is one of the most effective ways to encourage independent thinking. It is exactly in these quiet moments of entirely self-directed play that a child's confidence truly begins to grow and flourish. Ultimately, the most significant learning doesn't come from a gadget with a circuit board, but from a simple canvas enclosure and a child's own imagination.